Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cornerstone Collective. This is Jay Brown. Today with me is Angus McLeod
Hello.
and Gage Lee.
What's up?
Hey, we jumped in a little bit early. We're talking about this idea of chanclas and nanas. And in Mexican culture, we're here in Southwest Metro Phoenix. Shout out to us and the people here in the Phoenix holding down the PHX. We have very much a rich culture of chanclas and mamas and muumuus throwing said chanclas at children that aren't paying attention.
Yes.
It's like kind of a known thing. We've shown videos of like moms that are like and like throwing them, and they're going around corners and going through hallways and catching people.
They got some good memes.
Doing dirt. Mm-hmm. That's right. But you would tell the story about your nana catching you.
Oh man, so I got the wise idea to mouth off to my grandmama. Now I'm half. So half of me is a quarter each of Mexican Italian. The other half is like who knows what kind of white.
Yeah, Euro mutt. Yeah.
I'm somewhere in the middle. So my grandmama, who's on my dad's side, which is like completely backwoods Kentucky white,
Right.
she had some like super thick Skechers slippers.
Yeah.
So like the stable weight, you know what I mean?
Some soul to them.
Literally, that's right.
That's right.
So I got the wise idea to mouth off one day, and she raised the eyebrow, and that was like the key sign to like fight or flight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I decided to fight that day. So the very next second, the slipper comes off, and I thought I could make a run for it.
He chose.
There's these very steep, 100%. Super steep stairs going from second floor to first floor, and I get like second or third from the bottom, and I try to make a jump down to the first floor with my right foot planting and then banking left because there's a wall right there. So like, you can't carry on. You got to plant and split. So I jumped, my right foot hit the ground, and I'm like prepping. My knees are bending, getting ready to bounce going to the left.
Yeah.
And that's when she catches me, and I fold like wet toilet paper.
Just smack him.
Oh, dude. I mean, like, it was like I was kissing my knees almost immediately.
Oh, dude.
And she walks down the stairs, leisurely stroll.
Of course.
There's no need to chase when the Skechers do the chasing for you. I'm folded up on the bottom, like, and she's like, yeah, that'll teach you to, that'll make you think twice.
Oh, dude, that's a reality. I mean, my dad's side's from the South, and that was the chancla's a real thing. It doesn't matter if your nana's white or Hispanic or Italian or what. The chancla's a real man.
It's a weapon.
That's 100%.
Oh, yeah. And he'll throw a shoe.
Got the wife with the shoe throw.
And he's been known to throw a shoe, not there, but also in the theater as well.
Oh, there you go.
I'll throw.
Yeah.
So what she'll do is when she's ready to throw the shoe, she'll go and set it right there on the edge of the stage.
It's a threat.
Like, hey, just so you know, this may be coming your way if you mess around anymore.
Oh man, I seen.
So she always shoots wide.
Shoot wide on purpose. Give him some grace.
But she shoots one across the bow just to get just
Attention.
to make sure that they know she's willing to
Tell it.
She's willing to take the shot.
That's right.
That's super good.
I was gonna say one of the best outfits, Halloween outfits I saw was a mama in a muumuu, and then someone dressed as a chancla, and they were walking together, which is really funny. I was like, that's strong. You know what I mean?
primo.
Someone had the whole chancla outfit, which is pretty great. My dad said that their teachers back in that day, obviously they still did spanking and stuff
Paddles,
in school back in the day. But he had a coach that was like a baseball coach, and he was doing math or whatever, and so he would have the chalk dusters. They would have people got in trouble have to chalk up or erase the boards every time because they're doing it with chalk back in the day with their erasers. And he had those fat erasers, and people would be mouthing off, and he could hear them behind him. He just grabbed the eraser and just boom and beat them. But he was a pitcher. So he's lighting people up, dude, right off the chest, coming big clouds of chalk dust. People are like,
Talk about a deterrent.
dude, he said you could always tell, like even people who tried to break like you did for your nana, he would just catch them with 2-3 erasers in the back, dude. Their
Dang.
whole back be lit up with chalk dust.
See, we would volunteer after school to go and beat the chalk out, and then we would have the teacher would let us go.
Chalk wars?
Yeah, she'd let us go to town.
And
with
you're
each
covered
other.
in chalk
Oh
dust.
yeah, dude, it was so awesome.
Slick.
Taking years off your life.
Oh, dude.
I was in that transitional period, right? Where like whenever I first started, it was chalk and erase, like
Dry erase.
Yeah, dry erase, and then it transitioned to where like they had those projectors, but it was like the mirror on top.
Oh yeah.
So they would do that, like the clear sheet of
drawing on it.
transparent. Yeah. And
Transparencies, yep.
yeah, it was wild.
That was a whole era in church too, which I know you guys weren't really in that one.
No.
But that was a whole thing, man. And I have a friend named Jeff Starkey. Shout out to Jeff. Lives in Cairo today. of friends of ours when we lived in Alexandria. He traveled. He's Canadian. He traveled with his father-in-law, who was an evangelist, and they would go from city to city to city. He had this whole talk about the end times and stuff like this, a whole stack of transparencies in a certain order. And so his job was like, like we do on our slide deck, how we build a slide deck.
Yeah.
I got 50 to 90 slides a Sunday doing a half hour, 35-minute talk.
Yeah, sure.
These guys are doing the same. So, but you had to have them in order, whatever. And you had this whole situation where like he slipped and all of them just went, and they were like not numbered. So they just a transparent set of leaves like this all over the church. And he was just like, oh no.
Anxiety ridden.
Oh, yes, dude. Dude, and because he's a guy who takes everything very even keeled. He's telling a story. You could see him reliving.
Oh, no.
Reliving the situation.
PTSD. Yeah.
That was amazing, man.
That's rough.
Amazing. Hey, do you want to jump out? The first story this week is the word of the year, interestingly, is 6-7.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if you guys have caught this, which I know, both Angus and I have junior hires. This whole like 6-7, and they do the thing with their hands. This is like where it comes from, and it's ridiculous, man. It's like a whole process by which it comes. They say that it comes from this song by Skrilla called Doot Doot. And he's actually referencing something that's connected to LaMelo Ball, who's 6'7". He's a professional basketball player. And so it kind of got popular from that and something else. And people started doing it on TikTok, online, and it started taking off. And this one kid, he started doing it at a basketball game and be like 6'7", because like they were saying, oh, he's this height. And he's 6'6", he's 6'7". And so everybody started talking about it and started using that as a jump off point. Now it doesn't even mean anything. It's just like completely crazy. So have you guys heard that?
Yes.
Anytime somebody says a number, doesn't have to be 6 or 7, just any number. We're starting to see it in kids' church, even on the preschool side.
Oh, yep.
And so as older brothers and sisters say, it trickles all the way down.
All the way down.
All the way down till they start speaking. And so
I thought that was crazy that they picked that as the year. The word of the year was 6-7.
And who's determining what the word of the year is?
It's like Webster's or dictionary.com. It's like these bigger outfits that like define words. They'll do all sorts of whatever the hot word is. That'll be the thing for the year.
I think we should discuss another word: boycott.
That's a strong word, buddy.
Boycott.
Well, we've seen it pop off. Like that one of the ones, like Javo, you shout out to Javo, our producer. Javo, you seen it where you guys were at In-N-Out Burger and they shouted out 6-7?
Oh yeah, it was great. So we got there and I think the order number was like 50. I want to say 55.
Okay.
So we knew that at some In-N-Outs, they won't even announce it anymore because it like causes such a commotion.
Yeah, people are going crazy.
But we didn't know what the rule was at the local one. So
Right.
we just waited like 12 order numbers because it was already packed on a Friday night. And like as soon as they said it, the dude's face, you could just see it drop because he knew that there were a group of like 10 of us waiting for him to say this number. And as soon as he did, we all just like exploded we're just super loud and like yelling. And then literally as soon as it stopped and they went and grabbed their food, we all just walked out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of clips. I don't know why In-N-Out Burger, but it's like popular In-N-Out Burger because they do the numbers. They call it the numbers loud over the speaker. And so they'll be like, number 6-7. Everyone's like 6-7, and they all go crazy.
So you mean to tell me I need to use the drive-thru at In-N-Out from now on? That's what I'm hearing out of all this.
I mean, I was the other night, but I was like number 400 in some channel, some crazy number, so I wasn't even close. But yeah, you still gotta wait half an hour, 45 minutes, no matter what, man. It doesn't matter what time of day. You could be there at like 10 a.m. Be like, I'm gonna wait.
It's always worth it though.
It's so good, man.
There's this running argument between myself and another buddy of ours. Shout out Josh Hayden.
Yeah, shout out Josh.
So he's from Texas.
Sure.
And he claims Whataburger is
this is not even
best.
Close.
Hold on. I'm glad that I got some
we
people
have
on my
a
side.
Whataburger behind our house, dog.
And 9.99 times out of 10, I'd rather go to In-N-Out Burger.
Of course.
But here's the thing: like he claims diversity within their menu,
Sure,
trumps as well as the size of the patty.
Okay.
Trumps In-N-Out Burger in its simplistic menu and the size of the burger.
Then you gotta like put people like Jack in the Box back in the mix. Like you gotta put like because they're you got salad, you got egg rolls, you got wild stuff that they do. So.
Yeah. And both are fast food chains. I get that why adding Jack in the Box and stuff like that may be considered, but like
yeah,
when you talk about like a burger place,
sure.
I think Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and trash Whataburger to a huge extent.
I like Whataburger.
I like Whataburger.
Yeah, sure,
But
same.
it's in nowhere close to the same league as In-N-Out Burger.
Hatch chili burger.
Hatch chili's great.
Fire.
Hatch chili's great.
Really good.
It's not an In-N-Out Burger though.
No, it's not.
You can also get chilies added to your burger at In-N-Out.
That's true.
Which are spicier and more flavorful, in my opinion.
Very good.
That's what I'm saying.
And grilled onions.
And grilled onions. Well, you could get grilled onions at both places. So like,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of an argument there.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, the onions that were grilled at Whataburger have been neglected their whole lives, whereas the grilled onions at In-N-Out, grew up with trust funds.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But it's just hilarious. Like, yeah, I mean, it's really fresh, super nice. We have a bunch of young adults and stuff that work there that we know. So shout out Bella and others that have worked through there. I had friends that used to open the stores. So they had the ones that my friend John, he opened the one that was right on Dysart right here, and other ones in Vegas and all over the places they opened them. So real popular. He was coming from California and training and stuff. It was pretty cool. So early door, as soon as we got ours, we were pumped that we had an In-N-Out burger. So that's like our default setting for burger. If we're going to do burgers, that's where we do. But people, I often hear the comparison is actually between that and like Smash Burger or that and Five Guys or something like that.
See, Whataburger ain't even in the conversation.
I mean, I'm saying like, but those are like, those price points are much, much higher than In-N-Out burgers. So
100%.
like, you're not getting the same value. So I don't know. I still think In-N-Out burger for what it is. It's like Chick-fil-A, man. It's the Lord's chicken. It's the Lord's hamburgers.
You gotta love how they got verses on all their stuff too.
I love that.
You know?
love that.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to 6-7. So, they're doing the 6-7, but I love some of these scriptures that popped off out of this. Romans 6-7 says, "For he that is dead is freed from sin." It says in Exodus 6-7, "And ye shall know I am the Lord your God." Galatians 6-7 says, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall also reap." In Matthew 6-7, it says, "But when you pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathens do." And then it says in Deuteronomy 6-7, "And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children," meaning the words of God and in the statements of God. Psalm 67 says, "God be merciful to us and bless us and cause his face to shine upon us." Selah. And so as you look at some of these things, Ephesians 6-7 says, "With goodwill doing service as to the Lord and not to men." 1 Timothy 6-7 says, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out." Ezekiel 6-7 says, "And ye shall know that I am the Lord." So I like that. If we're going to talk about 6-7, let's talk about ones that count eternally, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Pretty great.
That's good.
Hey,
Because I definitely don't want to talk about the other one.
I wish I was 6'7". That'd be fire.
That'd be crazy.
That's an old song, which was before your time. Wish I was a little bit.
tall.
I wish I was a baller.
Oh, you do know it. Let's go. I thought this is way before you, man.
Come on.
You got some old heads around you, though.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Low riders and whatnot.
Shouts out to my old dad.
That's your old. I'm gonna send him this clip. Shout out Jason Lee. What's up to you, bro? Hey, interesting thing that's happened in the world around us. I'm talking about finance and some things and being good stewards of what God gave us. Interesting thing hit the markets in the last month was we had the all-time high spot price for gold. So all-time high price for gold just hit over $4,000 an ounce.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. Angus, you were talking about when you bought your house?
Yeah, when I bought my house back in 2009, it was about $1,000, $1,100 an ounce. And the reason I know that was just because that show Gold Rush, it was a Netflix show that had come out. And so I would, while I was watching that show, I would go and occasionally just check the price because I was interested. And so, yeah, it's a big difference between 2009 and now.
Huge. Yeah, that's right. Gigantic. I think one of the things that's interesting is because gold has always been seen as valuable. Obviously, we have more uses for it now in electronics and other things, but just as a stash of wealth. So when people were afraid of the markets, they would obviously go to gold. Gold doesn't grow as fast. It's usually 2 to 5% per year. So it kind of just fights inflation. Whereas your stocks are going to help you grow and all that kind of stuff. It's going to outpace that and see the multiplier happen. So it's pretty rare that you see such a push back towards gold and the surge in the price all the way up to 4,000. It's just under it now, but it was all the way up above 4,000, which is super unique for that.
Huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to touch on this. There's a gentleman here that attends our church. His name is Mark. Shout out Mark. He almost every time I see him, he wants to talk about gold panning and inviting me out. And although I'd love to be able to take the time to go, my schedule's so busy. But that was one of the big things is he had been gone for a little while. He had had a surgery, and Lord be praised, he had done the Lord had worked in him in his recovery, and he came back. And one of the first things he's like, gold's over $4,000 an ounce. You trying to go panning? I'm like, Mark, I want to, but I can't. I got so much going on.
That's right.
But yeah, so cool. I got some gold that's stashed up, like heirloom family gold.
Oh, wow.
And my goal is, I got from both sides of the family.
Like in ounces or in bars or?
No, it's all in like either broken jewelry or old like pendants.
Sure.
Like they have some saint pendants and other different things that I've collected over the years. And some of them still have like emeralds and diamonds and rubies inside of them.
Right.
So I have them actually at a friend of mine. His name is Ethan. Shout out Ethan. He owns a jewelry business out in Phoenix.
Okay.
And so he has this in his safe, and the goal is to break it all down, keep the jewels. I might put some of the diamonds and emeralds into like a nugget ring that I already have, my wedding ring.
Okay.
And then use the rest to make a chain out of all my family's gold. So I have all my family's gold into one piece that I could have consistently.
That's nice, man.
Yeah. But I've never found like a lot of value in gold, which is crazy because I know there, people, just like you're saying, they'll stockpile this gold as a way to save their money and to have something aside from what's in the market and everything else or in banks.
Yep.
So I understand the concept, but I never viewed it as one of those things. It was always like it's just a material thing that somebody holds on to that I don't really see a value in.
I got you. Yeah, it doesn't resonate with you in the same way.
Yeah, I never looked at it financially as much as I saw people using it as like a status quo thing.
Sure.
Like I have this big piece of gold chain around my neck. Matter of fact, I got 2 of them.
Right.
Look at how classy or how cool I am.
Yeah.
So having gold was never really a big thing for me up until recently, where I'm getting all my family's jewelry and I want to do something special and meaningful with all this.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So with the price hike in gold, do you think some of that has to do with what we were talking about the other week with China buying up tons of this gold?
Yeah, I think it has everything to do with that. I think it's the idea towards BRICS, which is the nations that are coming together with trying to start their own currency to be a competitor to the U.S. dollar for trade internationally. I think it has everything to do with that. And I think more specifically, people realize that it's a resource that people are going to value, and that's why they're sinking their currency to the gold. And that's why in the States we pulled away from it because we were printing more money than we could backstop with gold, and that's why they separated away. Sure. We had originally where it was like 1 to 20 or something like that, where it was it was pegged to like 20, and then immediately they changed the number and jumped it to a higher number. So suddenly your note that was worth 20 is now only worth like 30. It was like worth less. And so you were like, it was like, wow, they inflated it, and then but they still had it pegged, but they pegged it a different number. Yeah. And then they removed it, which was a whole different animal. Wow. So as they removed it, it made it be completely pulled away. And so that was one of those things where, now you're backstopped by oil trading, because all the oil's traded in dollars, the world trade, backstopped by our military. So, but, even with the current government shutdown, as we've been talking about, it's gone on now for over a month, which we're kind of blown away by.
Wild.
But, people are worried, man, about SNAP, about like these other things, getting food stamps and assistance for their families, and people that really need that. There is a percentage of people, smaller, that, they're just taking advantage. But the majority of people, they need it.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with someone on the phone recently from just today from our city that we're represented in, and they were worried about that very thing. I was asking them about other resources from the community, and they were asking me about that. And I said, we do have some, but it's limited to whatever we're able to get from these other sources. I know, Angus, you're a part of doing that and providing food and stuff like that, but that's really where this ties back to, is like you want to have something to weather the storm, essentially as gold. Do you guys do any gold, anything like that? Do you hold anything like that?
No, we haven't. It's one of those things that I've always been interested in, but have never had the excess capital to get into it in any sort of really meaningful way. Yeah. So, no, I'd love to. Yeah. So if anybody out there has any spare gold lying around,
donations.
Just message us. I will send you my address. And
that's a bold move, Cotton.
I'll take.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
Any gold you don't want. Praised. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, does anybody in the Metro Phoenix area and beyond want my address?
Hey,
I'm taking gold.
Globally,
yeah.
I'll take European gold or
that's cool.
African gold.
He's getting
doubloons.
The ones from Vienna with the Philharmonic on the back.
I'll take the old stuff. I'll take new stuff.
Cougarans out of South Africa.
I love it.
Yeah, the Mexican government, they make some really beautiful pesos. They do some nice ones out of that.
So I know none of you are financial advisors, but
No, we're
do you
not.
think? Yep, I know.
Officially.
Officially. So
In
do you
any
think it would be wise of me to take back my gold to hold on to for a little while?
People
I mean, not to say that
And I think for what you're doing with that, it makes sense. It's really hard to trade anything other than in increments that are minted somewhere. So
Sure,
you have to have it in bars that are in ounces or in 5 ounces or whatever the increment. You can do half ounces, quarter ounces. They do different things. I told this story to Angus a while back, and we might even talked about it. We were missionaries. We were going different places, and I was in and around all like the Bay Area. So there's a lot of churches that are significant. They have people that are in Silicon Valley. They have people other things. They have a lot of deep pockets. They give generously to missions. We're really blessed to have support from them. Some big houses, big churches. We got a chance to be up in front of them, speak for them. Well, I had an off Sunday, and I was there for meetings, so I wasn't coming back home. So I talked to a guy, and he had like a missional church in the Tenderloin. I mean, it's like in the heart of San Francisco, in one of the worst neighborhoods, like where the ones where you leave your door open on your car and your windows down because people will break your windows just to get stuff out of your car. So like they just leave their stuff open so that people don't break it. And you just take everything out of there and hope they don't steal the car. The electrics now, it makes it a lot more difficult. So people aren't looking to steal the car. They just want what's in the car. But everybody dealing with drug addiction, they'll break the car and do that. So they were having rampant problems. Anyway, this is the location this church is in, doing a great work in the thing. You know, I go in, they're like, man, we'd love for you to come and share, like speak that day. So I'm like, okay. So I come in and share. I'm not expecting anything, man. I'm expecting to take the pastor out to lunch, right? Like, I'm like, what do these guys have? They got nothing. Oh. Well, they do give an opportunity for them to support the ministry and the mission that we were doing. They gave it. There was people that gave in the bucket or whatever. And at the end, I was kind of like shocked. I was like, wow, this is very kind that they would even take something up. They're like, hey, you had this money come in. And it was like, whatever. It was like under $100, but super cool that somebody did something. I was 100%. Like, I felt very honored. It felt very like, wow, like they would invest in me when they have so little. Kind of like the widow's mite, you know, you read about in the Bible. And then he goes, and also this. And he handed me a gold coin that one of the people that was unhoused, one of the homeless people, they had put that in the offering. Wow. So it was interesting because it was something that it was a Canadian, I want to say half ounce or quarter ounce at the time. I ended up using it and selling it to a place and that kind of thing. But it was like, man, what a blessing that somebody would think to give in that way. So even them on the street, they were holding on to gold. Wow. Which I thought was really insightful. I was like, wow. So I think from a financial side, you know, all the guys I read, obviously it's not going to grow. You know, you're a young guy. You just turned 30. Happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, happy birthday, Gage. Thanks, sir. But in doing so, it means you some time for like your stuff to grow. So investing in that way, gold is not always, but it's safer. So people do, like, especially as they get older, they tend to go closer that direction because it's going to keep the wealth. Whereas they're more concerned about losing versus growing. Sure. And on your front end of your life, like we're right in the middle, so in the pack. So we're trying to figure out like to be aggressive with part and then start to be conservative with part. Sure. But while you're still young, you have lots of time to.
Yeah, I mean, because that's my concern, right? Is if the BRIC is getting together and formulating this new currency, right? Or a new standard rather. Right. I mean, is it better? Which side of the fence is it better to be on? The side that withholds the gold, or the side that lets it go for the current currency that we have?
Well, it depends on where you're going to be and where you're buying. If you're trying to use U.S. dollars against the world market, like I traveled to Europe 2 weeks ago, right? I was gone, and in doing so, it was like, man, to buy a euro is more expensive now because the dollar's lost 10% in the first quarter of the year, first half of the year, versus when we traveled earlier in the year, it was stronger. So when we were in Japan last year, we were really strong against the yen, and so they have the trade-off. Whereas now it's not. Now they do that on purpose sometimes for international trade for that reason, obviously, to devalue our stuff so that people want to use it, so they have an advantage to buy our products, to buy our services, etc. Okay. But for us on our side, you know, we want it to be strong, so when we go somewhere, you can have a stronger buying power. So it's a half dozen of one. So you have to decide most of your stuff you're going to buy is going to be here, operating here, living here, etc. Yes, sir. But if you're going to be thinking outside of that for the future, then maybe you might want to. So it just depends on how much you think. That's why how people think about, Jay, but we were talking about a little bit, you and I, about that's why people go into crypto.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have some friends that are looking at that, Bitcoin, ETH, and other things.
Yeah, things like that.
How those guys are they pretty bullish about it? Are they thinking it's going to really keep going and go on up or what?
I mean, I was in class today with a dude who was literally day trading like right next to me, but keep in mind, this is like the very end of the market for the day.
Sure.
As far as people with crypto, I don't I think most people just like kind of sit on it. I don't know anybody that's really trying to like buy in and day trade crypto.
Right. It's pretty volatile.
Yeah, and I mean there's so much like fluctuation in the market even over the last like 2 weeks with crypto. I mean Bitcoin went all the way up and then they dropped like 6% in a day or something like that.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I know people just buy like small shares of it. They don't have like actual coins, but
yeah, most people can't afford it. When I was looking at to buy Bitcoin, it was like 35,000 for one. Now you got to remember that back in the day when they first did it, it was like fractions of a cent was how much a Bitcoin was. So guys
almost did it.
Guys were doing stuff and they were buying pizzas with like 1,200 coins or some crazy number, which now one coin is over 100,000. And so, you know, guys were saying it was going to be bullish. They were bullish on it whenever it was like up to 60,000, 66,000. And then it fell back down to like sub 30. Yeah. And then people bought back in at that point and it rock and rolled all the way back up. And now they think it's actually going to keep going from there. So it just depends like on, you know, people's perspective and it's really the investment side,
sure.
You know, so it really is one of those things. But it's interesting as we go to gold because you start looking at it from the Bible side, you know, with it being the highest ever. And I kind of try to put it in the right perspective because it talks about in scripture how heaven has its streets paved with it. So while we're adorning ourselves with it, it's like, oh, this is pavement, baby.
Yeah.
Well, it also says, you know, at some point in Revelation too, that gold is going to be worthless.
Exactly.
Because food is going to disappear and famine's going to rule and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
And so, you know, I think if you also look at the times,
right.
You know, you look at the signs of the times and you look at Revelation and go, we're probably closer now than we've ever been.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that the Lord's coming next week or
right.
putting a date. However, we are closer than we've ever been.
Of
so
course.
if we're closer than we've ever been, there's a very real possibility
right.
that we may see that day where today it may be worth $4,000, but in 2 years, a month, whatever, the Lord set some things in motion and now it's worthless because
water, food,
you can't eat
can't eat gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it as a garnishment and do some flake on top of some
right.
expensive
No, we've all seen that.
ice cream or something. But
right. So, I mean,
right.
I look at it through that too, you know, and I'm not one of those people that's like sell everything because,
sure.
you know, because the end is coming. But, you know,
right.
I think you also have to
to
balance and just
putting your treasures in the right places.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense. We've talked about this before, not necessarily here, but in other contexts where it's like, you know, it's totally fine to be prepared, but to live as a prepper seems like you're always living for catastrophe to happen
Right.
versus like, I'm just going to live prepared no matter what my context. But if you're a prepper forever, then you can never travel because you can't go away from your prep or else you're not prepped where you go.
Right.
And so like you can never travel the world. You can never have impact globally. You can never do what we do, what we value.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you'd be so tied to wherever you are. And truth be known, it's like, you know, like people say so often, it's like you're only as good as, you know, the biggest, baddest person on the block not coming and taking your stuff from you.
Right.
So it's like, you know, we're obviously going to do what's the best we can, look out for us and ours and be prepared in that way so that we can be generous for others. But in the same way, we're not living in fear, man. We're not going to be locked in that way.
Yeah.
Like that's not how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Because there's always somebody with a drone that can come back and do something else. So
Yep.
the Lord help us.
Lord help us.
right.
That's it.
Gold's interesting because it doesn't tarnish, it doesn't rust, it doesn't decay. It shines, it has a luminescence to it that's amazing. You can bury it in the ground, pick it back up, you know, rub it off, and it's back to what it looks like. And there's something about that. I think about how God sees us as like if having value like gold, where we're a person and a person has a value, an inert value, like to who we are because we're made in the image of Christ. And I think that's so powerful to think about that whenever you start to appear, even people that are in like the depths of the dregs of bad decision making, it's like, no, they still have value, like like gold hidden in a field or something, a lost coin.
Yeah.
See, and I think if you look at the opposite side of that from the darker side, when you look at like the human trafficking side and
right.
things like that, where people have have
yes.
placed gold or, you know, whatever currency above the value of a human life.
That's right.
You know,
they're using a person as a commodity. That's right.
And that's where it's just crazy when you start thinking about it from all these different angles that it's like, man, it's amazing how disgusting money can also be.
Totally true.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I got to spend some time this week. Our church was a part of giving money to Project Rescue, which fights against that globally, against all those things. We're very, very thankful we got to be a part of it. Got to spend some time with the COO and Jonathan Barrett, amazing guy, just very humble, really good business mind about how to invest things and help people with systems long term, not just giving one time, but seeing that gift be multiplied out in helping generationally. I think it's really, really wise. So the Lord help us as we use business as mission to fuel things going forward.
Yeah.
Really powerful. Hey, I want to give some world facts. We're thinking about some of this kind of stuff and running into it. So I had some stuff for you guys today. Facts of the world. See where you guys are at in your world facts. So we're global people. We be traveling to more countries and doing more cool things. So in doing so, want to get some of this stuff and see if you guys knew where it was. So here's the rundown. I'll give you guys a couple strikes, but it's you guys and then okay. I've got the answers. Okay. All right. Longest river in the world.
Nile.
The Amazon.
Javo?
I think it's the Nile.
It is the Nile. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Largest desert in the world?
Sahara.
Okay.
Sahara.
Yep.
Antarctica.
It's actually Sahara. Very good. I know what you're going for. That's not a bad shot.
Well,
it's because I've heard somebody say it like that. I don't know.
Yeah, like it could be like a frozen.
I hear you. As soon as he said Antarctica too, I was like, oh, that's so smart.
Maybe you got you. Highest mountain in the world.
Everest.
Okay.
I don't think it's Everest.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with something in Japan.
Okay, like Fuji.
Sure.
Okay, Jabo.
Are you talking like above
highest
water?
mountain in the world? Yeah, above water.
Above
okay,
seawater.
yeah, Everest.
Good shot. It is Everest.
Yeah.
No, there is one sub under the ocean. He's right. There's a few. Actually,
yeah, that are supposed to be
that from the bottom of where they go to where they're at. Essentially, islands, right? That's what some of the islands are.
So from bottom to top, it's longer distance,
bigger, taller
than Everest.
Right.
Wow.
Essentially, yeah. Which is an interesting idea. Okay, largest ocean in the world.
We're looking at
we got a world map across the way.
wall.
You got to really put it into
Pacific.
Okay.
Pacific.
Javo?
Yeah, Pacific.
It is the Pacific. You guys are doing good.
Shouts out to that map.
All right, cool. This is interesting. What's the tallest building in the world? 2025. So this year.
I think it's Dubai.
Okay.
It's
The one in Dubai.
Okay, Javo?
Yeah, the Burj.
Yeah, Burj Khalifa is the one. I've been to the top. Javen's been to it, but you haven't been to the top,
no,
right? Not yet.
No, I didn't.
So we were there. We were at the mall. We were at the thing is called At the Top. Oh, throwback to gold. You can buy gold bullion bars at an ATM machine at the base of the Burj Khalifa.
Wow.
I was right there.
That's wild.
Well, Javo, we saw it in Qatar as well.
Yeah, we did. It's crazy. I think you can do that or can't you buy like Rolexes in Kuwait or something like that?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
like we saw a guy both there in Dubai and in Qatar walk up and buy gold out of the machine. And at the time it was like $3,500. And he just walked up and that was his keepsake. Because it was like Burj Khalifa on the bar. It's wild.
Wow.
How long did it take you to get from the bottom of the Burj to the top?
I think flies. It's 100 and I forget how many. It's digital. Like the whole experience is very cool. So the whole elevator is digital walls, and so as you go up, it shows a video and plays music, and it's a whole thing, and it shows you going through time and going past all these other high buildings, and it shows you going through clouds and showing the cityscape. It's a whole experience. It's very, very cool. My suggestion is you buy tickets the day before. If you go day of, it's like 100. If you go day before, it's like $45. It's like
so
way
they're charging
cheaper.
people $100 a head just to go up to the top and back down. How long did you spend at the top?
Oh, just like an hour. Just hanging out. It was like no big deal.
Okay, wait. And how long did it take you to get up there?
Oh, it's not very long because it's an elevator ride.
Right.
You flying.
That's fast.
It's like a couple minutes?
Oh, not even.
Not even?
Not even.
Wow.
No, it's moving.
That's insane.
You definitely have to like pop your ears. Like, because you're just, and you can actually, it's one of the few places on earth, you can do it in some places, but definitely there, where you watch the sunset at the floor, and you go in the elevator, go to the very top, and watch sunset again.
Wow.
Because you're that much difference.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You're above other skyscrapers in a way that it looks like they're small vehicles. Like little toys. Yeah. It's really wild. It feels like you're in a plane.
It's interesting.
They're so tall. Yeah. Which the new one in Saudi is going to be 1 kilometer high. So it's going to be bigger, taller than Burj. It's going to be huge. So it'd be pretty crazy. What's the largest continent?
Asia.
These guys have an advantage because they have a massive map on the wall.
So I was going to try not to look because it doesn't give us the continents.
That's true. And different people see different continents, which from US, we see 7 continents, which other places don't count them that way.
I would say Africa.
Okay. Jabo?
That's definitely Asia.
Okay. It is Asia. And actually, technically, before they carved out the Suez Canal, it's all one. We count them as separate continents because they're different plates.
Okay.
But the Europe, Eurasia, and African continents were all connected. right? So it was all
That's the concept of Pangea, right?
Yeah,
Afro-Eurasia.
Eurasia. That's what it is, Afro-Eurasia. And so it's like this super mega continent was all together like that. It's pretty crazy.
And that's the concept of Pangea, right?
Yes, in North and South, we were same as us connected, and it's very clear where it's like it was all connected, which we, from our perspective, was very much like the flood, as the things in the flood broke up and the waters from the deep came apart. It's what it talks about. It makes all the sense in the world for that thing to happen. So, okay, coldest place on Earth.
Antarctica.
Okay.
Sure, Antarctica.
Okay, Jabo?
Yeah, I'll go the same.
It is Antarctica. What's the hottest place on Earth?
Phoenix.
Shout out, you're not too far away, actually. Jabo?
Isn't it Death Valley?
It is Death Valley.
Yeah, California.
I figured you guys knew this.
Yeah.
Actually, the other, it's Death Valley barely edges out like Kuwait and Qatar and some of these places in Saudi, which get almost as hot. It's really, really hot. I want to say it's like 152 or something.
Something like that.
Fahrenheit. It's insanely hot. Very, very, very hot.
I think Death Valley's a good coined name for that place.
That's right. That's right. What's the largest country by area?
By area.
By area.
Wouldn't that be Russia?
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say Russia.
All right, Jabo?
Yeah, it's Russia.
It is Russia. Good job, guys. What's the largest by population? Largest country by population?
China.
Okay.
India.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's India.
Oh,
now.
that's good.
It is India. Just barely edged it out, but they're both over 1 billion. It's like 1.2, 1.3. It's really big, huge.
Wild.
It's very, very wild. Okay, what's the largest rainforest in the world?
Congo. No, Amazon?
Okay.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Okay.
Also
Jabo?
Amazon.
It is the Amazon. Good job, guys. Last one, largest museum in the world. Throw it back to last podcast.
The Louvre.
Yes, it is the Louvre. And so that's the one that's there. So just kind of some of these breakdowns for you guys, some general knowledge stuff. I was thinking about this today. I was like, man, knowing more about the world and some of the quiz and what it would be. All right, we're coming up to, recording this, you'll probably hear it later, but we're coming up to kind of that fall season. Halloween is on our doorstep here. And so it's a season in the United States of like a massive amount of candy. Yeah. So the candy is everything. How much candy did you get to have as a kid, Angus? Because your dad is a doctor, so that must have been crazy.
Did I get to have or that I did have?
Okay, give us the bifurcation.
I hear you.
So I wasn't allowed to necessarily have a bunch of candy yet.
Okay.
I would I would store my
like a chipmunk.
Dude,
store.
I'd squirrel it away.
Yeah. Hollow walls, floor safe.
The oots, the cheese balls.
Oh yeah.
I had one of those that was full.
Really?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of candy.
So growing up as the firstborn, you've got to play it for whatever you can.
For sure.
So I'd when we'd all get some candy, I'd sample for my siblings and all that, but I'd hide my stuff away, and then when all theirs was gone, I'd bring it out.
There it is.
Oh, cool.
There it is.
Giving back to the people. I hear you.
Yeah.
No, I think he meant he was eating theirs and then he ate his.
That's 100% what I meant.
He was not giving back
Dear
to
heavens,
the people.
I thought
he was
giving back to the Angus.
He was taxation without representation and then enjoying his spoils on the side.
Who was it? Queen? Which queen was it that sat up there and ate all the food while everybody else was starving?
Marie Antoinette that's what they let him eat cake, right?
I like to look at more as like tribute.
Okay. I learned all these things the hard way, so you didn't have to.
That's
Where's my tribute?
That's hilarious.
That's
It's
wild.
Protection money.
Definitely. Gage, how
not
about you?
protection for me, but protection from everybody on the outside.
I thought too highly of young Angus.
That's really funny. Did you do a lot of candy when you were young?
To an extent.
Okay.
To an extent, I went out, did all the trick or treating, and got as much as a pillowcase would allow me.
Really?
Yeah. So I used
Pillowcase?
Yeah, I used to do the pillowcase method, and I would hop on my bike and ride around neighborhoods.
Oh right.
And like hit all the different neighborhoods in the area. And then back in the day, like it was still like it's crazy how much it's dwindled down over the years.
It was a lot safer back then.
Sure, yeah, I'm seeing a lot less people leaving their light on, and then some of these people still leave their light on, but there's no candy. You go knock, nobody answers.
Right.
But anyways, I used to go get all the candy, bring it home, I'd dump it out, and then like that night I was able to have this section.
Oh, okay.
So like they would say, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 pieces, whatever.
Sure.
Whatever this chunk is, set it over here. That's what you can have, and this is what's for another time.
Nice.
Right? And so they used the Halloween candy as a method of like you have to earn this.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what you get for tonight, but the rest you have to earn.
Yes, that's a good system. We did something similar with our kiddos. We let them have very little because everybody gets so sick, dude. If you gave them like all they wanted to eat on Halloween, it'd be crazy. So
Bad
we would
decisions.
we would just pull it aside. In fact, like we've had tons of candy available, like up like above our fridge and stuff
Throughout the
but
year,
kids,
yeah.
they don't even really care. Like they might have a little bit here and there. I don't know, Jay, but you weren't really a candy kid much.
Nah, never really ate candy.
But Amelia, your youngest
Oh.
sister.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she's really like that anymore. Like maybe
No.
she'll do like Oreos or something.
Sure.
But as far as like actual candy, none of us eat any of that anymore.
Yeah, everybody's watching their teeth and doing all this stuff, which I'm really thankful for. I mean, and you have a pretty good system with your kids and their teeth.
Well, we try.
Whenever you the alternative to the to the tooth fairy.
Yeah, so we've got a few things. Actually, one thing that I think we're going to adopt, you know, when the tooth fairy comes, it's an extra $1 for a cavity-free tooth. So it's $2. And I'm so glad when they get out of that phase too. But the other thing is at the dentist, if they have a cavity and they want the gas, they have to pay for it.
Sick.
That's $100 for the copay.
Figure it out, dude.
And so like they get kind of freaked out when they find out that they're gonna have to be drilled on and get the shot and stuff and,
Yeah.
and
Instead of-
shoes.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, so lately because it's very fresh right over fall break. We went in the first 3 days of break. I took all 4 of them to do so many appointments.
Right.
and
Yeah, the
get all
works.
caught up and everything. And so
Smart.
now it's very fresh in their head. So I'm like, okay, just remember, you know, one of the moms here, I was explaining, we were actually both at the dentist at the same time as she was texting me about her kid who had knocked out some teeth.
Oh wow.
And we were finding out the results. And I was saying, it's funny that you say that because I'm here. And she actually, for every cavity, they charge their kids $15.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
slick.
charge them the other way.
Slick.
Yeah.
I'll adopt that right now.
I
Consider
like
it
that
adopted.
idea. So, so I'm
pretty
like,
wild.
I like that idea. So,
Yeah, that's a good one to put in your back pocket for sure.
Pretty good.
You know how I found out about the tooth fairy?
What's up?
So I had a tooth I put underneath the bed, and I used to collect different coins.
Okay.
And one night, my mom thought it'd be smart to take one of my own coins and
use
swap it
that.
out.
Ah.
And so I woke up in the morning, and I was like, okay, here we go. And I look at it, and I'm like, oh,
This is my coin.
this dirty tooth fairy is stealing my money and trying to give it back to me. Oh, I was so heated. And I told her, I was like, Mom, can you believe what the tooth fairy did? She's like, all right, I got to be honest.
broke the fourth wall. You're like, oh no.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
It was funny because it happened that way with so many of those things in my childhood, like Easter Bunny.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I remember I got like a basket and it had a football, a frisbee, a soccer ball, a basketball. And then like 2 weeks later, like I go into my parents' room, my mom's like doing whatever. She's like, so how'd you like the basketball I got you? She's like, I was like, Mom!
Oh yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Same thing with Christmas. She's out there.
Oh, Santa stuff. Yeah.
She's out there like setting, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I go to get a water or something.
Right.
And I had just gotten a quad the year before, and
Whoa.
she was handing out a bunch of riding gear.
Wow.
She was laying out this riding gear for
And you
everybody in
walked
the
out.
family. I walked out. I was like, "What are you doing? This is Christmas." She was, "Oh, I just woke up and I just saw this. Oh my goodness, look!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Mom, it's the last straw. I don't trust you with any of it. It's done."
that's so funny.
see, for Gavin, he woke up one day and we woke up to him just sobbing.
Oh,
And we're like, what's wrong? He goes, why doesn't the tooth fairy love me? We're like, what do you mean? Because, you know, I mean, we gave him $1.
Yeah, sure.
Which, like, I got 25 cents.
Sure, yeah, sure, yeah.
I got my
inflation,
own money.
Right?
yeah. Good point.
so he goes, the tooth fairy loves, and then inserted his friend's name more than me.
Because they got more money.
And I was like, what do you mean? Well, so Gavin was one of 4.
Sure.
His friend is one of 2.
Right. Sure.
And his friend has a rich tooth fairy.
Oh
Who
yeah.
pays $20 a tooth.
$20. Dude, I'll work out a tooth.
Dude,
Let's get one going.
I'm like,
$20, man.
let's go.
$20 is $20.
Dude, I'm gonna
good,
I'm
man.
gonna start running in traffic.
That's hilarious.
So anyway, we're like, okay, look.
Sobbing, yeah,
So we were
sure.
like, okay, buddy, look, here's the deal. So we had to break it down and we had to explain it to them. This is the reality of the situation.
Yeah. You just got to stay the night at your friend's house.
Once they start, exactly. Lose
That's
your
the reality, kid.
Lose your teeth there, dude. It's location.
He lives in a downtown penthouse. That's exactly right. You need to go there.
Yeah.
And take me with you.
And that's talking about that. That's one of those things that if I could go back and do everything over again, I probably would go more like you guys chose to do with the mythical creatures and figures like that. Yeah. Just because we thought it'd be good to help, the belief in the unseen and all that kind of stuff. But once it runs its course, then it can get real dicey.
And I see both sides of that totally. We just chose to do not any of those things. So we never did Santa. We never did any Tooth Fairy, any of that kind of stuff. And it's so funny because we were like explaining that to like Celeste's mom, for instance, and she's great, but she was like trying to perpetuate it because all the other kids believed it, and our kids were.
You're taking away their childhood.
They were just like, no. And she's like, what's Santa gonna get there? Like, I mean, nothing. My parents are going to get me some cool stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Jabo, what'd you think of that, man? I mean, you had friends around you that were learning about it later.
Yeah, I think because Mom's told me a story about this once where I'm pretty sure I was in like preschool in France. Mm-hmm. And I think I was like 3 or 4, but I had known forever that Santa wasn't like a real thing.
Right.
So I think I came back one day and I was explaining to my mom, I was like, Mom, it's just so infuriating. And she was like, well, what's wrong? And I was like, all these kids keep talking about what Santa's going to get them for Christmas, and I had to keep explaining to them, oh no, Santa's not real, and they wouldn't believe me.
That's right. And then later he did that in France, which they just like that. Oh, the American kid doesn't know. When he got to America, and we were back here before we moved to Egypt, he did it again at Litchfield Elementary, and he was just like, no, there is no Santa Claus, and he's like telling the teacher, and the teacher's like, like stress, because she got 20-something other kids that are like, what?
You just blew a month of lesson planning.
Javid is just like hard in the paint. This is all a lie.
I don't know who's been feeding you these lies, teacher.
This is a sham.
You sit on a throne of lies.
That's right. You sit on a throne of lies. 100%. That's really funny, dude. All right. Want to do a little bit of battle here. Give you guys some stuff. Actually, I'm gonna go the short one because I think it's just for time. We'll do the shorter one.
Come on, man, lay it on us.
You gonna do the fat one? All right, we'll do.
What we got?
We'll do the little one here. All right, so these are some of the candies. It's not all the candies. It's not a full list, but this is some of the candies, and we'll do a short battle to see which one you think would win. Okay. So it's preference. So it's different ones that are here. Okay. Milky Ways versus candy corn.
Candy corn.
Milky Way.
I'm the dividing factor. Okay, Javo.
A Milky Way.
Okay,
it's obvious.
So we're going Milky Way, I guess. So it's a Milky Way of wins over candy corn. I probably would go with you on candy corn on that. All right, Snickers versus Almond Joy.
Snickers.
Yeah, I think Snickers.
Javo?
Yeah, Snickers. You can't.
I'm with you on that. I mean, like I like coconut, but not less. I mean, Snickers is Snickers, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
At one point, I don't know if it still is, but at one point, Snickers was the #1 candy in Phoenix.
Oh, really?
So they always do a study every year that's like regional candies.
That's interesting.
Because I love regional candy. I love to try it in different spots and everything. But they publish what the top candy is in all the different parts of the country.
Okay.
That's interesting.
And so it used to be that Snickers was #1 in Phoenix.
Because isn't Snickers that you're not the same when you're hungry?
Yeah.
You're not the same when you're hot. Phoenix edition.
I guess. Yeah. That's so funny. It's a chocolate thing. It would melt here. But
yes.
Yeah.
It is satiating, so it makes sense.
There we go.
All right. Tootsie Roll versus M&M's, the normal M&M's.
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 Yeah, Javo?
M&M's.
Okay, we'll go M&M's then.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Here's a big
Come
one.
on.
No, this is just the normal one. I'm with you on that. I mean, that's
Come
different.
on.
You go peanut butter, you go
Come on.
peanut.
That trumps most.
Caramel M&M's.
That starts climbing. Yeah, they're still climbing. All right, Twix versus Twizzlers.
Twix.
Yeah, Twix.
Wow.
All day.
I thought maybe there might be.
No.
Nope.
Twix.
It's not even on my.
But Twix versus Red Vines.
That's still
even
Twix.
then,
Neither.
Still Twix.
Yeah. Neither.
See, I'd
Because
say
I'm
Red
just peanut
Vines.
butter though. See, I'm peanut butter though, so I think that's where I would say yes.
I don't know, man.
No, you say the other way. You go Red Vines, maybe.
No. I'm
Red Vines versus Twizzlers. is what I was saying.
I probably would go Twizzlers actually.
Really?
Yeah, and I like red vines, but I think the sweetness. I mean, there's more. There's more of a sugary sweet instead of.
Because what is the flavor there?
Red vines?
Yeah, of those in general, because it's like a flavor.
Red vines is more like a red licorice, right?
Yeah,
That's like a
licorice.
true
Licorice. I don't like
It's
licorice.
kind of like
I like
red.
licorice.
It's kind of like a red shoestring that you
Yes,
chew.
yes.
And then there's red vines, which
It's a
are
soft leather, right?
Yeah, and then there's the red vines, which are vanilla and smell like childhood, and
Oh,
It
like
reminds you of your
neglected trust
favorite-
fund, that thing.
It
Yeah.
reminds
it's
you
back
of
to
your
that.
favorite
It's back to
elementary
that.
school teacher because that's what she'd give you.
100%.
That's wild.
This is all these things are accurate.
Yeah, they both taste like garbage.
I
to
like
me.
the ones that are like even the small versions where they make the fatter ropes out of Twizzlers, and then you could peel off the smaller versions and eat them.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
are
the
those
peel away
strings
ones,
or whatever.
Yeah,
Those
the
things
pulling
are
peels. Yeah.
fire.
My
man.
wife loves them.
Dude, I love candy.
Yeah,
I love
same.
candy.
I think she's a
I just
heathen for liking
can't
those.
Get near it because it's like I become the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and start floating over Manhattan. I'm like,
I thought I saw you a few
Yes,
years ago
thank you,
floating
Thank
around.
you.
That's my
Appreciate
problem
it.
currently.
My third neck came out. It was awesome. Okay, Reese's versus Smarties.
Reese's.
Reese's.
Yep. J-Lo?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm the same with
We
you
gotta
guys.
start brackets here, man.
Yeah. I
No,
agree.
there's a much bigger one that I was like trying to. It's for time. All right, Skittles versus Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
That one's tough.
Kit
Yeah,
Kat.
Kit Kat.
Yep.
J-Lo?
OG Skittles.
No, I think I'm going Skittles.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, man.
Angus.
It just depends on if you're in the mood for something fruity versus
That's
something
true.
chocolatey.
Actually.
'Cause,
Is the
like,
Kit Kat in the refrigerator?
Oh, that's another good question.
Yeah, I like those in the freezer.
You know what's
for sure.
wild is whenever your friend walks in and doesn't break them apart into individual sticks,
And
but
just eats the
bites
whole thing?
The end of it, dude. What is that?
That's sociopath.
That's a sociopath. That's a sicko
100%.
person.
I'm
Like
pretty
somebody you don't trust staying
Come
at your
here,
house
children.
at night. Yeah, no.
Come close.
Nope.
Well,
Nope.
you know that it's written on the wrapper that if somebody does that, you're allowed to throat punch them.
That's probably accurate.
See, I missed that. I had so many opportunities.
Have to read the fine print on these wrappers.
so
dude,
many
I'm telling you.
opportunities to throat punch someone.
Golly.
That's really
So
funny.
many opportunities missed.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Skittles. We'll move Skittles forward.
Oh,
We've got a
come
lot of
on.
chocolate going forward. All right, Starburst versus Three Musketeers.
Starburst.
Okay,
Three Musketeers.
Javo.
See, I'm not a three.
No, I'll go
Musketeers.
Three Musketeers.
And I'm gonna say Starburst because I like a pink Starburst. You throw it in
yeah,
the corner of your
great.
mouth, gets stuck on your teeth.
I do like the pink Starburst
something about
C4s.
that.
Those are pretty
And
good.
I like the marshmallow of the Three Musketeers. I like that, but I think Starburst is the winner there.
Yeah.
All right, last one on this bracket, and then we're gonna move up. Butterfinger versus Lifesavers.
Butterfinger.
Lifesaver gummies?
I'm gonna say Lifesaver regular one, hard
No,
candy.
no,
No
Butterfinger.
way.
Okay.
Yeah, Butterfingers.
I'm also like easily imprinted by Bart Simpson.
Oh.
Come on, man, my Butterfinger. You know, whatever you're like.
Okay.
So,
Oh
all
my
right,
gosh.
back to it. All right, so we're Milky Way now versus Snickers.
Snickers.
Gage.
Snickers.
Yeah,
Okay,
Snickers.
Javo. I'm saying with you guys. I'm saying Snickers. All right, it is M&M's versus Twix.
Twix.
Ooh, Twix.
Are we going? Well, it's only OG
Is it the
M&Ms?
right Twix or the left Twix?
OG M&M's.
OG
Oh,
of all
that's
of
a
them.
good point. Is it the left or the right one?
Right Twix or
Because if
left
it's the
Twix?
right one, it should have never moved out of the first bracket.
Oh, wow. Hard on left Twix, huh?
Whoa.
It's always left Twix.
Sheesh. Wow, I thought you were a
didn't know
moderate.
it got
That's
Interesting.
because you're
Interesting.
left-handed.
No, everybody knows that left Twix are better. It's
There
like
it
a
is.
common fact.
This is interesting. We're learning new things. Younger generation, left Twix, hard to paint. Wow. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say Twix as well.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna go
That's
Twix
crazy.
over M&M's.
I didn't know that like Twix had its like legit own demographics.
It definitely doesn't. He's making that up. But anyway,
The commercials said they did. I just thought they were liars.
all right. We're Reese's versus Skittles.
Reese's.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the cups.
Yep.
Reese's cups.
Yep. Give me a
Versus
cup.
Skittles.
I'd say probably Reese's.
Yeah, Javo.
Smart man.
Yeah, definitely Reese's.
I'm
Smart man.
100% there.
That's what I'm talking
When
about.
we lived in France, you couldn't get like peanut butter sweet candies because it's like all the sugar and all the crazy. So you had to
Okay.
import them, and it was like double price. Dude, you get like one peanut butter cup that you left in the freezer or the refrigerator for a while. Psh, brother, it was like tasting America. It was amazing. It was amazing.
There's your
I
bald
could
eagle
taste- yeah, it's
screaming
like,
in the
It's
background.
like the flags, there's
What?
fireworks.
50 cows.
100%.
And George Washington sitting on the front of the boat.
He's coming through. It's got the peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
100%. All right, I think we're Starburst versus Butterfinger.
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 Really?
I thought we did this already.
No. That was Butterfinger versus Life's.
Oh,
Life
yeah,
Savers.
you're right.
So Starburst
yeah,
versus
Butterfinger.
Okay, wow. I would have went the other way.
Really?
Yeah, because I think because you can savor the Starburst where you can like just pop them in and savor them a long time. But I get where you're coming
You
from.
don't get and here's the other thing: the texture. It depends on where your texture palate's at. Like if you like the crunchy or if you like the tacky.
I do love the crunch of a Butterfinger though, because you get that brittle in there. It's amazing.
yeah.
It's really good. Okay, all right. So the flips back the other direction. So we are ooh la la. We are Snickers versus Reese's.
Reese's.
I'd say probably Reese's.
Okay, Jabo?
Yeah, Reese's.
All right. Wow. Takes it out, huh?
Knocking
Reese's
them
it
out.
in. There it is. Okay, so now I think we're Twix versus Butterfinger.
That's a hard one.
Probably Twix.
Okay.
My younger days, I would have said Butterfinger. Now I think I'm more of a Twix guy.
All right, Jabo?
Definitely Twix.
I would say the same as you, Gage.
So,
But it's left Twix. I mean,
Yeah.
right Twix. It's right Twix.
It's right Twix. It's gonna
so
be
now it goes
Butterfinger.
down. All right, it's just interesting because now we're Twix, which is peanut butter and cracker versus peanut butter cups and
chocolate.
Reese's. So Reese's versus Twix for the showdown.
See, I like both of those frozen.
Okay. So non-frozen, room temp, out the gates, normal
Twix.
package.
Twix.
Twix? Angus?
Yeah, I'd say probably Twix.
Wow, Javo?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I'm going Reese's cups, but you guys win it out. Let's have a hand for Twix. Twix winning
Shouts
it out.
out, right,
Shout
Twix.
out.
No.
The fight
No.
is real. All right, real quick, we talk about competence and something that we talk about every week from part of our 7 C's. Those are commitment, community, communication, competence, creativity, compassion, and celebration. In talking about competence today, we want to talk about the power of the habit and making a new habit. That's a book you see from Charles Duhigg here. And we talked about this last week about habit. Have you guys had a chance to take a look at habit at all?
No.
Kind of
Not
an
yet.
interesting idea. One of the things that he says is in making a new habit, there's a concept with cue, routine, and then reward. And so what they've seen is they've done this with lots of animal studies and then later with people, that there's some kind of cue. So in the case where they would answer a question correctly in a quiz, then they would be rewarded with, like, for instance, in the book, he talks about juice. So then the animal gets juice and they get the reward. So the dopamine spike when they get the juice. Then what's interesting is over time, the actual spike is that when they get it right, then they get the dopamine spike before they get the juice, which is really interesting. So it actually aligns to getting it right because you see that right gets you a reward. So actually the spike in your dopamine in your system actually triggers the pleasure center before you even get to taste the juice,
Nice.
which is a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
That is.
So they're tying it to the idea that people are
sense.
using for marketing, like let's say toothpaste, where it's like, hey, okay, you feel that your mouth is dirty, so you're gonna brush your teeth, and then you get the reward of a clean mouth.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever your cue is, that's what you have to tie your new habit to. So if it's working out, is like, okay, every day when I get home, I'm gonna work out, or every day when I get up, I'm gonna drink a glass of water, and then that triggers me to go and work out, or whatever your system is. Whatever your cue is, that's what will trigger you to do the thing where you get the reward.
Yeah.
So the reward is, oh, I feel good now because I worked out. Whereas like normally that wouldn't be a thing, right? It takes energy and effort to get up and go do that. So they're figuring out whatever your cue is, that's really what opens the door for your habit, which is an interesting idea.
Yeah.
So
I
it
used to
helps
love
you
that.
with getting up and doing stuff like that early. Like, you know, those of us like me and you, Javo, that are stay up till all hours of the night,
Yep.
that we have to figure out our new habit cue for the morning
Sure.
to get up and be bright and rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So interesting idea.
Yeah,
That is.
yeah, and it's totally true. You know, once you get that reward from something that you start to create a habit from, even just so like I used to work on the road quite a bit, and it would put me away from my wife and my kids, but it also gave me an opportunity to not need to be as present in the evenings, which meant I could fall asleep early.
Right.
So what I would do is I went to the gym a lot at the time, and I would wake up about one. I worked at 4:30.
Right.
So I'd get up at about 1 or 1:30.
Whoa.
Get dressed, get ready, go to the gym, work out for about 2 hours, get my protein in, eat a meal, go to work 10 to 12 hours, get off, go home, make a huge dinner,
Right.
get into my word, and then go to sleep.
Wow.
And like it was every day, and like that, it was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like that dopamine would hit as soon as I woke up,
Right.
because I knew I'm about to go get this in.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it was definitely was trading one dopamine for another, right? Like having the dopamine in the self-gratification, right? Working out, bettering my body and taking care of myself.
Right.
And having these evenings where like I could isolate and get into the word without any distractions or outside noise.
Right.
And then going from that to being able to wake up and like there was really nothing for me in the mornings. Everything was in the evenings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like all the family time, all the kids that I didn't get throughout the week.
Right.
But yeah, it was trading one dopamine hit for another.
Totally. Yeah, I totally get it. And that's why the Q thing is so important, I think.
Yep.
Huge deal. Hey, Angus and I have been going through this, and I know you have a copy of it too, Gage Now, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Maxwell, a classic leadership piece. The one we talk about today is a law of magnetism. Who you are is who you will attract. What do you think about that, Angus?
100%, especially, being in kids ministry and education. That adage that, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Absolutely.
That you can see that. And I'd say in those cases, if you don't end up running with the same crowd or, end up in the same places as the crowd that you run with,
right,
you're the exception rather than the rule.
I agree.
And so it's one of those things that like, if your kids have the wrong friends,
right,
just get ready for everything that they're willing to try.
Absolutely. No, it's totally true. That's a great point. I think too, because it's water seeks its own level, right? That's the idea. So just like we were talking about law of the lid in previous weeks, it's like you can't lead someone who's above you in lid because you're going to hit up against your lid all the time. Similarly here, whoever you are is they're going to bring together because you have a like-minded spirit. Yeah. So I know, like for instance, I bypassed having free education in Arizona, like at ASU or U of A, like great schools, to go to school in California because I was really seeking, like, I want to go to California lifestyle and go surf and snowboard and all that. But I also wanted to go to Christian school where I'm like, was really trying to hold on to find like some Christian friends because I was kind of like the last one who was truly trying to kind of live for Jesus coming out of my teen years and into college. And in doing so, when I got to Christian school, the people I found were people like me who were a little bit jaded, had a lot of life experience, and were going a different path. So it was 100% that the people I fell in with ended up dictating how I lived my life and what I did because I aligned myself with them, which was the group value because I belonged with them naturally versus trying to fight again for living a different way. Yeah. So I 100% agree with you.
Well, and then you come out of that and you look in the adult world too, and we see it all the time with people who start coming here. I mean, I saw it in my own life. Right. The more I started coming to church, the more that my friends from my old life, we just didn't associate as much because our thing, everything didn't align as much, and we were still friends and all that stuff. Of course. But you just don't hang out as much, and again, over time, we just kind of went off in different paths.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I was a young guy, I was kind of known like life of the party, fuel the party, fund the party kind of a thing, had a good job and was kind of running that way. And so when I shifted away from that, it was a big eye opener because like suddenly my friends didn't call no more. And it was just like, they didn't call anymore at all. Like there was nothing like that because I didn't belong with them anymore. Right. And so I had chosen different, and I never was trying to minimize anything they were doing or said the decisions that they were making were wrong. I never said any of that stuff, but it was like they felt it by my presence of being there, not participating. So therefore they didn't want me there. Yep. Yeah. And that essentially made me isolated, which felt very lonely for a season. But then you find real friendships that go deep, and that makes a real big difference.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Huge deal.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of us have kind of lived that if you were outside in the world and made the transition into coming into this community, which is the body of Christ. And it's like we've talked about before, if you're getting into a community and things don't change, you're not in the right community. Yeah. So it's just like you had said too, so many times or so many different people rather in my life who I thought were super important as I decided to change who I was and the things I was living for, my ambitions, the things I aimed towards, those people, not that, again, like I didn't minimize anything that they were doing in the same way that they didn't like me less. Right. But I wasn't a part of it. Right. Whenever you unplug from these circumstances that people like to involve themselves in, you know, there's a couple times we're like, hey, dude, come out and come do this. And, you know, like me and my wife, even a couple times, like we went to the bar. We weren't drinking. We were having like 7-Ups, and it's different.
Right.
You know, like you aren't part of their fun anymore.
That's right.
And I wasn't wanting to be a part of their fun. So they stopped inviting us to go do those things. And then sometimes they would invite us to go do those things, and we would say no. So the disconnect happened.
Yep.
We're like, I don't want to be a part of that lifestyle. It's not that I don't want to be a part of your life.
Correct.
It's I don't want to be a part of the lifestyle that you're choosing to be involved with.
Right.
Because I have other priorities and other things that I'm holding above that kind of lifestyle. And it's not that like my lifestyle is better than your lifestyle or anything like that. It's just the fact that it's not what I want anymore.
I mean, in a way, though, it is a better lifestyle because you're connecting to God in that way.
Right.
It's
But not
that
wanting to tell them that they're less for how they're, you know what I mean?
Correct. You're not passing judgment in that way at all. And I know where you're coming from there. But I would say it is a better lifestyle because you are choosing something that's eternal with different motivators altogether.
Yes.
That's why we talk about so often that's how important it is for a person to get involved and get connected, because whenever they come to Christ, their natural connection is still to their whole life and their whole community that's connected to whatever they were doing before. Yeah. So it's so important for them to find a home and a connection in the community of Jesus, because without it, they're not going to have that same belonging, and it's going to be hard because their magnetism of their friend group
it's still pulling them back.
Will have a negative effect on them versus them being positively pulled into a different community.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're thankful for those that are finding it, that are you know, pushing in and making a way, and then on our side, people who are already living that lifestyle, being open to having more friends and more friend group, because you can get protective as well. Oh, I got my 8 friends, I don't need no more. Right. No. That's not how we are. Like, we need to have more room for one more always.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, you also have to be sure that the way you exit some of those friendships or put some of those friendships on the shelf is done in such a way that you're not burning bridges necessarily.
Yeah, open doors.
You know, because you want to be able to allow them to, you know, should their lives and should their path begin to align with what, you know, where you're headed, you know, there's no reason that they can't come, you know, and be back apart and all that stuff.
Right. Or if they have questions, you know, they feel comfortable with reaching out to you because they know who you are as a person and the respect that you'll still have for them.
Well, and that was one of the things that I didn't understand early. And, you know, before I was coming to church, you know, I had just accepted Christ and, you know, I had zero faith and zero background, I should say.
Sure.
And not only that, but, you know, I also had I had no place to go and learn and to grow. And so, man, I was so on fire for God that I burned everybody around me, you know, and so I became very judgmental and all of that stuff. And I learned I had to go and apologize and make right all of those things because I realized in those that first little bit of time, I turned more people off to Christ than I did on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so I had to fix that. But that's the other thing too that you just have to be aware of is how it's done.
Such a good point, man. The Lord help 100%. Us to be the right kind of magnetism people around us.
Amen.
Yeah.
Have that kind of impact. All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We have a small visitor with us, Mr. Cassius Lee.
You want to say hello, sir? Come here, handsome boy. Would you like to say hello to the world?
Hello. He's hanging out with us a little bit today, just saying hi. As Janae's head back to us from her family up in the Northwest. And so Cassius was hanging out with some people today and then jumped in here for the very end of this pod. But we've got to get a chance to be in Cassius's life his whole life, which is pretty awesome. Get to see him be, you know, from the time he was born and all the way through, which is
to grow and flourish.
Pretty amazing, dude.
So Cassius, I have a quick question for you.
Same question as earlier.
Okay, I asked you this question earlier. You've had some time to think about it.
That's hilarious.
All right. So what's one thing that you've been doing with mommy gone and out of town that you don't do when mommy's here? What's one thing daddy's been letting you do that you don't usually do? Huh? He's giving me the eyebrows.
Hold on.
That's right. He's got the gummies.
You got to answer his question first.
Hey, so what is your dad letting you do
what are some
with
things,
mom out of town?
Yeah, what are some things that dad lets you do?
What?
Oh, no, he's asking you.
What?
Do you get to stay up late?
Does dad let you stay up late? Does dad let you sleep in the same room as him?
I think dad told him about the whole snitches get stitches thing. So he's
rule,
like, no, we follow all the rules. In fact, we brush our teeth extra.
Yeah, an extra minute.
We're eating double veggies.
That's right.
Yep.
In bed early.
Okay, can I have those on?
Yeah, sure. Really quick. Go ahead.
All right.
I don't
For a second, he's gonna podcast with it. All right.
I don't need these on.
Cash, how you doing, buddy?
I.
Are you doing pretty good?
Oh.
Sorry, Daddy has a big head. He's gonna tend to slide
Nice.
off quick.
Hey, want to talk a little bit today about on the community side. For
I am standing here. That's why I was going upstairs.
Oh, so you're upstairs with us in the podcast studio?
Yes.
Very cool,
Are you having
dude.
fun up here?
Yes.
There's lots of stuff to look at.
All right, hey, let's
We were
let
doing a
Jay
rundown of
talk really quick.
all of the different pieces of tech and how they work here, and he was
Thanks
giving a
much.
rundown. It was pretty fun, actually, earlier. I
Yeah.
love that.
Well done.
All right, hey, we want to talk about the 7 C's and the idea of community. One of the things that we talk about here in those 7 C's is this concept of community, how we belong together. And so I want to look about a little bit at church planting. I throw some things to you guys, and you can jump in here and see kind of why it would be such a large amount of energy to get a church going. Church for sure. This is just a few things, not everything, but just to do a church plant, you have to obviously have a focus of where you're going and what you're doing. You have to have vision and what you're happening. You have to have a name, a logo, some kind of online presence. You have to know the demographics of where you're going. You have to know logistics of what you're going to be doing, of how you do what you do. You have to have a budget that's going to be there available for you and to make it thing go. You have to have fundraising happening. You have to do sound and video, pipe and drape, signage, office equipment, trailers, trucks, whatever it takes to do it. So you could take all of those ideas and see why it'd be such a hard thing to get off the ground.
Well, not only that, but then you haven't even talked teams yet.
No. And you got to have teams that do ministry.
Yeah, teams. You've got to have all the people, all the volunteers, and all of that to be able to do all that kind of stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's really super tough. So it's one of those things that's why it's so imperative as we want to be those at church plant, as we want to be those that invest with church planters, that we're saying, okay, what does it take to do this stuff? How can we come alongside you? We're not going to do everything for you. You know, there has to be a piece of it where they identify and go into it themselves. And we planted in Paris, France, and then led that community. We revitalized a church and essentially helped initiate a church that had its own identity in Alexandria. So it just got legal, but it had such a small amount of people that we made it be legitimate and bought property, bought an apartment, bought different things like that, and space. In doing so, it legitimizes who you are. And so that gives them, now they still exist to today and have pastors because we made a way for them to do that. And all those things were put in place. So now you can change it because it's already there. But when it's not there, it takes so much more effort to build it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, the thought of that gives me, it gets me tired.
Sure.
It gets me tired just thinking about the process, the ins and outs, the day in, day out, night and day battle.
And we have a lot of benefit here in being in an older church. Our church is 39 years, going into 40 years. And all that blood, sweat, and tears was paid by generations earlier. And so we get to reap the benefit of having facilities. And now we have to upgrade them and do all that stuff. But we still keys and turn it on.
Yeah,
and
we're established.
We get to go.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else, man, they got to go a night before or early in the morning, set up chairs, set up sound equipment, do all the things. Man, we did it for 10 years. Set up still at churches today. Setting up chairs, setting up sound every single weekend. Doing the thing, man. So we have a lot of heart and appreciation for those that are in the trenches doing that every single week. Even as we plant, our heart is to do that model, is to do a setup model and be that how we do church. Yeah. Because there's a missional side of that you lose whenever you get established, because now it's like, oh, we can sit back and chill. Well, it's like, no, not really. It's a marching parade, man. People are going and leaving and whatever. You got to keep engaging, but it's hard because now it's like, well, we got soft chairs and the lights turn on, and if we can get here late now, we don't have to be
Let's
here
sit back for a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And people, that happens because you get through the threshold of seeing something established. And there is a piece of it with church planting that there are some people that are essentially scaffolding, like they come alongside to get the building up and running, but scaffolding's not going to live there forever. So they themselves will move on to another project because they want to feel used for what they're used for, which is like to get things off the ground. And so we have friends like that have gone from church plant to church plant, and as the one gets established, then they move on to the next. And I was like, why are they doing this? Don't they want to reap the reward? But no, their heart is to see new things happen. So I appreciate that.
And I haven't seen it, but I've heard about also when you go from not having a building to having a building, the difference in the people too.
Yes.
And and how you have this kind of oil and water
Yes.
settling
Separation.
that happens
Yep.
because now you've got all the people who work so hard and sacrifice to make the building happen, and then all the people who come after that who just get to sit and enjoy the work of everybody. And then there's this like, well, how come you're not working as hard as we did to go to the next step? And so it becomes this. So then there's another shaking where you know, some of those people will kind of go away, who your original people, because these young whippersnappers don't appreciate what us old timers did.
That's
Sure,
right.
or work as hard to keep it moving forward. Yeah.
Right, exactly right. And that's the struggle. The struggle is to keep on mission. And we talk about internally, we talk about act as if you're planting. The idea is that we have to keep our mentality to be hungry as if we have to set up chairs every week, though we don't. And so, like even today, we were passing out flyers. The team has done 1,000 flyers in the last week.
Lord be praised.
And yeah, it's amazing. Lord be praised, because we're trying to get the word out, invite our neighbors. We have 10,000 homes within a 5-mile circle of us. I mean, that's a ton of people. And so that's why we cheer on other church plants, man. I'm not against them. I'm for them. I pray for them. As we go by the big churches that, they offer everything that we don't have, that's okay. Because I still pray for them, and I pray for CCV, and I pray for our friends over at Palm Valley, and Pastor Ryan and everybody that's doing their thing, and even bigger houses in our own network, like our friend Caden over at Radiant. And man, I pray for them. I want them to win, because between me and him, dude, a city's worth of people.
Yeah.
And they're lost and they need Jesus.
Yeah, 100%.
And so we that's my heart, is that we be about this stuff and be about the things, but take into account what it costs to do this stuff, as we're talking about planting for the future. We know what we're getting into.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that me and my friends talk about often enough, especially whenever it gets into the concept of like, what is church, right? And church has never been, as much as a lot of people make it out to be, a building.
Right.
Right. And like a lot of us are under this concept of understanding where church is the body of Christ.
Yeah, it's people.
Period.
That's right.
Period. Church can be anywhere that the body of Christ is gathered, and it's two or more where he's in the midst.
That's right. That's
so
right.
church can be 2-3 people meeting up at a park, right? And having this organized, it doesn't even have to be organized, but intentional moment of time with the Lord.
That's right.
And outside of that, a lot of people get sucked into this concept of like, this is my church, this building, whereas it's not the church, it's the community. Mm-hmm. The church is the body of Christ, and the body of Christ can be everywhere, whereas the community is consolidated to, whether it be 1, 2, 3 square miles. And luckily enough, it's also the type of people, because there's different demographics within the body of Christ.
Sure.
And, there's people that I may be able to get along, I don't even want to say get along with, but click with better, right?
Sure.
That magnetism that we were talking about earlier, where, I'm drawn in to certain kinds of people, where it's vice versa across the board. Mm-hmm. And this community that I've plugged into I've been fortunate enough to feel drawn in, right? And to be able to build connections and deeper relationships with people along the way. But touching on the financial side of it, when you're plugged into a community, you have to plug into the community, right? Mm-hmm. You have to, in order for the community to sustain and to grow and to do the mission that we've set out to do,
right,
as followers, as believers in Christ, as ones who are taking on the Great Commission, we have to then give not only what is called of us, but above and beyond, in the sense of our time, our energy, our purpose, our values, right? And the way we spend that time with one another in the foresight of wanting to be more than what we are now, which is closer to Christ every step of the way.
Right, and being used by him within that
That's
purpose.
it. Yeah, that's it.
For sure.
And that comes with being devoted to the Lord in more ways than just showing up once a week, right? It's developing those relationships with people and being that person that they can lean on, which is not the church, right? It's the community, it's the people.
Yeah.
And there's the piece that's it's a give and take, right? So I've understood on the other side of that, like I was part of house churches in the past. I was like, what I've found about house churches most of the time was that they were trying to get the benefit of like what we do with small groups, which is meeting together in a small context, which is really great. But most of their attitude was actually anti-establishment. So they had this chip on their shoulder, which was really weird. Mm-hmm. I've only seen it been successful one way, where you had a larger gathering in like a really big space that they didn't own, they rented it, and then they would meet together once a month or twice a month, and then the rest of the time they met in smaller house churches. That was a lot more organized. So there's still a belonging. So like what you were talking about, there's a belonging sense. Whenever it's been the answer, like the anti side of that, or like, they're kind of fighting against an established church. A lot of their attitude is a misalignment. And so the problem that they have is that they're more, what identifies them is what they're against, not what they're for.
Sure.
And so that's been a lot of what I've seen and happen. And a lot of times, even with we make opportunity for people to come in and be a leader and get trained up and all these other things. And then we still have people who don't want to come alongside. They don't want to do those things. They don't want to be a part of the process and agree with us and be trained up in what we believe, but they still want to go and start off and doing stuff. And I've had that everywhere we've been. Had it in Paris. People just try to start ministry out from underneath us with people that were part of our community. Had it happen in Alexandria. Have had it happen here. And it's like, what we do is what we're trying to do is say, listen, I understand what they're going through, and I know that you're connected to this person. We can't validate them or say that this person is for what we're doing. If you want to do that, that's on you. Yeah. And so what it does is just gives a very much a clear picture, because what happens is that people that are ill-prepared and don't do this kind of stuff and be in church planting or be a part of something, man, so often they're the very ones that do the church hurt in a big way for people. Yeah. And it's not that people that have establishment and been 20 years in ministry, we still can church hurt people. Of course we can. We're people, right. We're broken, we're fallen, we need Jesus.
Tell it.
Be more like Jesus. But the Lord be praised, the difference is that we've been through some seasons and we can handle things, a little bit differently and understand structure and some other things that help us walk forward a little bit. So that's kind of the thought process with us, being those that cheerlead on church planting, that are those that have a heart for church planting and see it go forward. Acts 2:46 says this, and day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved. That's Acts 2. And so I love that. It goes back to what you're saying. It is a community of faith together. We are the church, the people, but having the ability to do things like resources and giving towards things like this. I'll break from what we're saying here, and I'll be very transparent in conversation today. We've had several people within our community of faith and people recently coming to be a part of our church that unfortunately are going through DV. And as they have to deal with DV, this one in this case has been on the women's side, they don't have an exit because everything they have in their life is tied to this relationship. And so though they're experiencing violence, they don't have a way to escape. And so though our encouragement to them is that you don't need to stay in an abusive situation, that is not what that is about.
Right.
Their exit, they're not willing to exit, even if we're trying to give them resources and things like that. I wish I had 100 places to put people and keep them safe and an apparatus to pay for it. I don't have any. If we had 10 beds today, we could fill them all. But the deal is we don't have it. So there is a piece about being collective and corporate in what we do, like establishing a place for us to worship together, or even rooms to have meetings in. Like we have 3 meetings happening tonight, plus a podcast, all on this campus.
Yeah.
So we have 4 things happening simultaneously and other stuff happening off. So it's like, man, that's what it's about, is being in our mission, missionally about it. And then you can collectively use resources in a different way. There's no way that I could support 50 missionaries or you.
Yeah,
of course.
But collectively we do every month.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. We're having impact around the world
beautiful.
By our generosity and giving collectively.
Yeah.
So
there's
something
so much
about
to the
that.
power of being organized.
Yeah.
And it's they're not corporatized, but organized.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. It's a community that has a plan and a purpose that's willing to come together to fulfill the needs of those around us in a way that builds the kingdom and spreads the love of Christ.
Well, see, but that's the other thing too, is every church has its own mandate, has a different area that it's called to. And that's why, whenever somebody gets down on some sort of a ministry because they don't like the particular way a pastor preaches on this topic or that,
sure.
I'm always I'm very slow to pass judgment as well, because for that very reason, I know that for me, I needed somebody who was going to speak with a rougher hand, with a strong
what you were
voice.
used to.
I needed somebody who was going to get through the thicker skull.
Sure, yeah.
Right? But somebody who doesn't necessarily need the heavy hand can go to a church where they can hear a much lighter message and get the same result.
Sure.
And so just because, and that's why we tell people all the time at Party with a Pastor, when people are searching for a church, look, if we're not your flavor, that's fine. we want to help you find your flavor.
Right.
You know, we want
Get
to help you
connected.
find a
Yeah.
place that you can go and not just warm a piece of padding, you know, but that you can go and get connected and be an active, vibrant part of your community.
That's right.
You know, and so that's a big part of what it's about too.
And we've seen that. We've seen people, you know, leave us after a season, and it is heartbreaking as a leader. I can tell you. I mean, be very transparent. Like, you feel like, oh man, like what? You know what I mean? But I am thankful when they actually go find another home and connect in, because at least they found another community of faith. The one that really breaks my heart is the people that leave here and they do nothing. And they wilt in their relationship with God. They wilt in their vibrancy and their faith in God. And then later, they might not even have an active relationship with God. And there's people that I did decades with early on here that are now not a part of that at all. And it hurts my heart, because I'm like, man, you know better. And you're not happy doing what you're doing. I wish that you would get connected somewhere and that you would return back to the Father.
And the thing about cases with that, the further you get from the inciting incident that caused you to walk away, the less clear the reason you walked away becomes. And so when you're 20 years away from the Lord and stuff, it's because it was his fault.
Of course.
Or it was because somebody at church hurt me.
It was never your fault.
It was never my fault, you know. And so that's the thing too, is
right.
that you have to be aware that,
for sure.
I mean, if you're in tug of war, right? If we're all on a tug of war team, you got to understand sometimes your toes are going to get stepped on.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and so what do? You forgive your teammate and go, hey, let's try and stay off my toes.
That's right. Nah, for sure. And the Lord help us, man, to live in those communities together and to be those ones that give grace. And just as we receive much grace and forgiveness, we so give it.
Yeah.
You know, we pray it every day, right? But give us today our daily bread. Forgive us those that trespass against us as we are forgiven much. And that whole concept is so imperative that we live that way.
Yeah,
So praise the
100%.
Lord.
Broken people. All
That's right.
broken people. Even the ones that stand up and give words and ones that run different parts of communities, we're all broken. No, there's no exception anywhere.
That's right.
And we all fall short.
We talk about it all the time from the front of the room, man, as we're teaching and preaching to people, is that all of us want to be more like Jesus.
Yep.
So the Lord help us. Last couple things, we'll skip a lot of these questions we normally do, but we'll do one last question in our rapid fire, and we'll shelve these till next week. What is one word that you want to leave with the podcast today? What's one takeaway from today? Well, all the things we talked about.
One word is a single word, or one final thought.
We'll go thought.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was excited. I thought you were about to carry off. I'd have a second to ponder. I think the one thing that I'm leaving that I will be reflecting on over the course of the next week is who we are called to be within our community and what it looks like to continue to build the kingdom where we are and not get comfortable in having an established home, but rather growing that home and expanding the kingdom and our community and the reach that we have as a community.
Praise the Lord. The Lord be praised. Angus?
I'd say in this next week, something to consider doing is removing emotion from some of the conversations that you have in order to be able to have some deeper conversations. I think that's one of the things that I'm seeing now, especially with our youth. You know, they really want to have conversations, but they can't because there's so much emotion surrounding so many of these topics. And so especially if you're going to be interacting with a young person, you know, somebody under sub 30, I'd say,
Sure.
Be willing to remove.
No longer there.
So if you're above 30, be willing to remove the emotion from your argument and be willing to see their side of the coin and
you can
see
speak
what
to
it
them
does. Yeah,
more
so that you
accurately.
can speak and
That's
see what
encouraging.
happens.
That's encouraging.
Jabo? Takeaway.
I was just, for one word, I was thinking reach. Just because we talked a lot about community, whether it be global or local. I think it's important, especially kind of as there's a generational shift in terms of the way that we can reach people, whether it be through social media, whether it be the way that we change how in-house looks for things like church service and stuff like that. I think it's important not only to be flexible in the way that we deliver the message of God, but just also adapt as a community and be willing to understand kind of how transitions go, kind of as Angus was saying. So I just think, reach really stands out.
It's good.
So good. I think for me, it's 6 set. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dear
I'm just
heavens.
kidding. For me, it's plant. We want to be those that plant the church. We want to be about it. And we want to say, what is my part in seeing the church go forward?
That's good.
So, Lord be praised. Thank you guys for being with us and part of the collective. Much love to you. We'll see you next time.